What's up, good people? This is Lifespeaks Media coming to you today to talk about the Joe Rogan situation.
You done fucked up, you know that, don't you?
And for those who are new to this channel, Lifespeaks is we talk about all aspects of life, interviews, current events, so forth and so on. But one of the main topics that we talk about on Lifespeaks Media is diversity, right? DEI, as it relates to this new evolving world. Spirituality, and everything that has to do with life. So this is definitely a topic that I wanted to touch on. So let me preface this whole opinion, and that's all it is, just an opinion. Let me preface it with this. I like Joe Rogan. He's a likable personality. From when he started out on Fear Factor, he was funny, engaging, charismatic, all that, the work that he did with the challenges with the road rules versus the reality show challenges was amazing. It was funny how he got the guy in the headlock, put him in check. Hey, no, you, hey. Funny, hilarious. For those who haven't seen that, Google Joe Rogan, hey. What he did with Carlos Mencia, calling him out on stealing jokes. I give him props for that, and as far as I know, he has a great relationship with a lot of African-American entertainers. I know he did multiple interviews with Dave Chappelle, Mike Tyson, RZA. He has a great relationship with the fighters that he works with in MMA. So as far as I know, he's a likable guy, a genuine guy, based on what I know. But you have to be careful how you move and what you say in these metaversal streets out here, I'm telling you. These metaversal streets are real. You could say one thing on camera and not even feel the same way at the current moment, but they'll dig it out and blast it all over the metaverse. So you have to be careful what you say. And the N-word is something that you definitely don't want to play with. I don't even use it. In my, my younger days when I'm talking to, my friends, of course. In the African-American community, yes, it has evolved into a term of endearment. They say take a negative and transmute it into a positive. That's kind of what we did. But when it comes to the history of that word, it is rooted in racism. Not only just discrimination, but we're talking about murder. We're talking about institutionalized slavery. Is connected to this word, So, this is a word that everybody can't play with, even today. All right, so let's talk about race for a second. Now, as I do my videos, I focus on diversity, I focus on spirituality, and everything that has to do with life, hence Life Speaks. Make sure you comment and subscribe so the channel can grow. And how I feel about race is, yes, I think race is an illusion. I think we have more similarities than we do differences as a human race. And hopefully we'll continue to work on this and get to a point where racism doesn't have that detrimental effect on certain communities. But at this point, this is just the way it is. So as far as the illusion of race, it's not really biologically sound. But the construct of race, the construct of racism is very real. As it relates to historical eras, the civil rights era, slavery era, and now we're dealing with police brutality and racial profiling. Very real. Redlining. Having certain neighborhoods have higher interest rates, harder to get a home in certain neighborhoods, harder to buy a home, period, harder to get loans. Very real. But if you notice, if you do your research, it's not really the biological aspects of race that make it real. It's the economical effects of race that make it very real. So this is something that exists. Racism exists. And when you call on these words, even the word boy could be offensive. Monkey could be offensive. Negro could be offensive. Colored could be offensive. So you definitely can't play around with the N-word. So basically, Joe Rogan, even though you felt as though you were connected to the African American community and that you were authentic enough to be able to use these words within the context that you used them. And by the way, that joke that you did about the Planet of the Apes when you were in the African American neighborhood, there's no context to be clarified. You said you got out of the car and felt like you were in the Planet of the Apes, like you were in the middle of Africa. It's offensive, guy. It's offensive. And you crossed the line. And you have to deal with whatever comes with that. So for people who are trying to defend, for people who are trying to say, oh, it's not really that big of a deal, it's just a word, it is not. It is not. It's more than just a word. Now, if you're married and somebody came up to you and said, your wife cheated, cheated is just a word, but it's the meaning behind the word. It's the implications behind the word that gives it the power. Your whole life could be destroyed. You got kids, you got a house, you got a family that you built, and all you hear is your wife cheated. That one word, cheated, has extreme power, right? If your accountant comes up to you and say, I'm sorry, all of your assets are frozen. Those are just words, assets frozen. But if you have a lot going on, you got bills to pay, you got things you want to buy, and your assets are frozen, it means a hell of a lot. It means the world to you. So don't say it's just a word. Words have power, and you have to be careful how you use these words. So here you are, Joe Rogan, in the situation. You made a mistake. We all make mistakes. Hopefully we can move forward from this. Hopefully we all can learn from this and be careful how we treat people. Be careful what we say to people, including myself. But as of right now, you have to deal with the energy that you put out there. And it's coming back to you. So Joe Rogan, I would just have to say to you that you made your bed. Now you got to lie in it. Be careful what you say. You cannot play around with the N-word. And that's just what it is. We got a lot to learn. We got a lot to accomplish. And we have to start here with how we treat people and what we say out here in these metaversal streets. So it just is what it is. Learn to evolve. Learn to use better words. Learn to treat each other better. Learn to be fair. That's what diversity, equity, and inclusion is about. So talking down on people, making fun of people, and definitely using racial slurs, it's not going to fly. And the funny thing about it is Joe Rogan is ethnic. He's Italian and Irish. Back in the days, Italians and Irishmen, they were discriminated against just as much, or not just as much, but they were discriminated against just like African Americans. Not to that degree, but they were discriminated against. So he should know better. He should know better. So hopefully we all learn from this. Take this as a learning moment. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Peace.